baby. My sweet and sexy lady.
The prayer line is
Boy.
218-936-0812. That's 218.
Did you get it?
936-0812, and the code is 2254#.
Now, wait a minute. I want her to give that to you again, and I want you to get a crayon, chalk, pencil. I don't care what you get. Get something to write this number down, okay? Okay, I want you to get this number. Give it to him one more time. We got just about one more minute.
218-936-0812.
218-936-0812. All right, well, we got to go again.
And the code is 2254#.
2254#. Well, listen, we got to go. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, I'm Dr. Randall Hall Walker, my lovely wife. It's a joy. Thank you for joining us today on During the Greatest broadcast with Dr. Randall Hall Walker. And we're so excited and ignited to come to you. And we wish God's very best to you. Well, it's a joy to come to you by way of television. I'm Dr. Randall Hall Walker. Yes. So I tell you what, I'm anticipating, I've been waiting for this moment because I want to hear the top 10 failures of a woman. To know that my wife is willing to admit these top failures with women is incredible. Because, listen, I was not proud at all last week to share with you the 10 top failures of a man. I was humbled by that. Here, let me give them to you real quickly. Number 1, stop noticing your wife. Number 2, allowing yourself to be rude to her. Number 3, constantly reminding your wife that you're the boss. Number 4, making the children her sole priority or sole responsibility. Number 5, disregard your domestic duties. Won't do nothing around the house, so disregard everything. Number 6, not home. Always working, never at home. Number 7.
Even 10, they're not necessarily in order. And the very first one that we're going to deal with is nagging.
Wow.
No matter what he does, she complains. And I came up with an acrostic on nag. N-A-G. Meaning N, needing A, attention. G, guys, she's just needing attention.
Oh.
That's what nag is.
So that's what the
In
issue
a
is.
need attention, guys. She's really needing attention because what I believe is happening here is that her expectation of the marriage may not be where she thought it would be. And so she's inside, she's complaining. Things aren't going the way that she wanted, so she's nagging. And if he doesn't get the point, again, here we go with a failure.
Well, of course, and that is so powerful because I can imagine living in a house. You know, the Word of God even talks about that a man would be better off on the housetop, you know, than to be in the house with a nagging woman.
Right.
You know, nagging can really get on men's nerves because number one, we have a space. Men have a space that you all don't know about, and that space is our privacy that we connect, and it's like a box in our head that we don't want anything in that box. And when you're nagging and nagging and nagging, then you're putting stuff in our box. And so that box is reserved for just us. And we don't want you putting stuff in there. You're putting a lot of stuff in that box, and we're getting frustrated. And so that can create a real problem with us. And so, but it's good to know that you're reaching out. See, a lot of men don't know that the wife is reaching out.
Yes,
according to my lovely sweetheart, she's saying that when a woman is nagging, she's reaching out to you.
Yes,
Thank you
she's
so
wanting
much
attention.
for sharing that with our viewers. Yes, wonderful.
That is so true.
Yeah, because we see it as you filling up our box. That's all we see. You know, you're filling up our boxes, getting full, and listen, we like to keep it empty. You know, we like to keep that box empty with nothing there.
Right.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and so that's what's really going on with her. There's something happening inside, and she doesn't know how to say it. So she nags.
Wow.
She complains. No matter what you do, she's going to complain.
Yes, I can
and if the
understand.
man doesn't pay attention to that, he won't understand where she is. And just like we said, it will drive him right out of her life. And number 2, unforgiveness.
Unforgiveness. Wow.
Unforgiveness is a big issue in a marriage. If something goes wrong, what I did was I said, never letting go of what the husband did to hurt her.
Wow.
Constant reminding him of his fault. She won't leave. And her motto is this: if I stay, you will pay.
Oh, whoa, whoa. Oh my goodness.
That's of a truth. I
Wow.
know it is
Listen,
the truth.
man, this is great for us to know. So in other words, if you've been sentenced, you got to do your time.
She'll stay there, but deep in her heart, even though there's a bit of forgiveness, there's no wholehearted forgiveness because it's you hurt me, you embarrassed me, you did this, you did that, and I'm willing to live with you. But every once in a while, she's going to find a way to make you pay for what you did. She's going to remind you. She's going to dig it up. She's going to go scuba diving. You threw it in the sea, or God threw it in the sea, and she went scuba diving for it, and she's going to bring it back.
Wow.
It will drive the man right out of your life. He won't know what happened, but it's called lack of forgiveness. So women, I'm saying to you, learn to forgive and forgive quickly. You have 2 choices. You either forgive and let it go, or don't forgive and leave.
Wow. Well, men, and also sharing this was so awesome. I want to encourage you that to realize, okay, hey, you did the crime, you got to do the time, okay? So whatever you did to hinder the relationship, you got to ride that out.
Yeah.
Because so often we want to bail out and we want to say, well, I'm not taking this. Yeah, I made a mistake. Yeah, but she just keep rubbing it in my face. She keep nagging. She keep rubbing it in my face. She just keep on. And I can't take that. You got to take the pressure because she needs to know that everything is resolved. And then she needs to know that you love her. And she know if she put that pressure on you and you stay, then you prove yourself for a long-term marriage.
And that's good. That's good, because what is happening, what's happening is she doesn't feel that you really repented for what you did to her.
Oh.
She's not feeling it. And the minute she does, the minute she she feels that there's repentance, then she's going to see change in you, which will bring change in her. And so that's why the unforgiveness is there, and that's why the motto, if you stay, you will pay, remains until she comes to that place where she knows that you've changed, because there's still some things that are probably going on that she see.
Yes.
That reminds her of what you did.
Wow.
And because you don't look like you repented, you're not acting like you repented, then that's where, number one, the nagging comes in, and number two, the unforgiveness remains. So when I said, if you don't want to live with it, women, he's going to leave. He's going to leave. But if you can't live with that, then you have to make a choice as to whether or not you can.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Well, listen, I want to encourage the men that's listening who you're watching me by way of television, and you can identify with this. I want to encourage you to weather the storm and prove yourself, because what I'm hearing from the opposite sex is that you have to prove yourself.
Yeah.
And I ain't proving. Yeah, pride goeth before destruction.
That's
so
right.
you don't want to get caught up in pride. And for God's sake, don't think the grass is greener on the other side. Because what can happen is you will find yourself out looking in than being in trying to look out. So your marriage is worth saving. Your marriage is worth fighting for. And if the wife is hurt, devastated, unforgiveness, it's up to you to prove yourself and to help her to overcome and walk her through that. Walk her through that pain and that hurt.
Right.
And then you'll see that it'll be such an appreciation for you, because, listen, you ministered to her. And because you minister to her, then she can in turn minister to you. But she can never minister to you as long as you haven't ministered to her.
That's true.
But the moment you have, then you'll see things turn around. You'll see things change, because she'll know that you have changed, because you're doing things different.
That's true.
You're not doing the same thing over and over again when she done told you 2.8 million times that it gets on her nerves, okay? You stop doing it because you love her, and God gave you that precious woman, and you want to cherish her, and you want to love her.
That's good. That's good. And again, when I said that she may leave, it could be anything. It does not necessarily have to be a physical abuse or verbal abuse. It could be anything that really hurt her. Like last week when we spoke about calling her names, that breaks a woman's spirit. Yeah. She does not want you to call her name, and she'll begin to live that and then throw it up in your face, especially if you call her stupid, especially if you call her ignorant. She's going to do something, and then you're going to come and ask her why she did it. Guess what she's going to say? You said I was ignorant. You said I was stupid. So what else do you expect from me? And that's how she's going to act. Wow. And so we don't want a circus in the marriage. And then you had even said something about the grass. Sometimes men think the grass is green on the other side. It may not even be grass. It may be turf. So you better pay attention to what fence you're jumping over.
That's good. That's
you have
good.
to pay attention to that. So, yeah. So anyway, we're going to move to number 3. Now, this is a big one. This is a big one. Spending money with no budget in mind.
Oh, that is a
women.
Big one. Oh, yeah.
Whether you work or he work or both of you work. We have to get to a place of not just spending money, but there's a reason for it. It's either because she didn't have before she met you, and now she's gone overboard. There's just no balance to where she's going, or she just became very frivolous in her spending, and she just spend. And then the funny thing about it is she's feeling guilty about it. So what she may do is she'll go out, say for instance, let's look at shoes. So she'll go out and do 2 things. She'll buy shoes and tell the salesperson, I don't want the box, just put them in a bag. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. And then you take them home. Or if you get home before the husband does, Then you hide them. You leave them there for about a week or two. You're anxious to wear them, whether it's clothes, shoes, purse, whatever. And then you pull it out. And then he says, "Oh, I've never seen that before. Oh, I had that a long time, honey." Those are I'm unveiling us, ladies. I really am. Please don't throw a shoe at me or anything, because I'm guilty of... maybe this one. I think I've done that a couple of times, but the guilt comes in after a while, and so you don't want to do that anymore. So be honest. If you have to spend, at least you two talk about it, or you're going to spend, talk about it. But don't go out and just spend money knowing you don't have it. Don't spend your rent money. Don't spend your electricity money, because your shoes cannot pay that bill.
That's right.
A new dress can't pay that bill. And a new purse, I remember I was talking to a lady one day, and she had this beautiful purse. And so I won't name her, but she had this beautiful purse, and I was like, "Oh, I like that purse. Oh, my husband got it for me." I said, "Oh, that is so awesome." So we're all together. Her husband's there. We're all there. And she's got the purse on the table. And he said, "Where'd you get that purse from?" And I'm standing there. Well, you know the rest of that story. I don't even have to go any further. Okay? We're not going to say anything else about that, but I just want to let you know, don't go spending money that you don't have. And even if you do have it, be respectful with your husband and discuss it with him, because it hurts. Even though the man may not say much, it hurts him to see his wife spending like that, and he doesn't want to call her dishonest, but it is dishonest when she comes out of the closet because she's hidden some shoes for a whole month, and then she comes out with these new shoes, and he's like, "I don't believe this."
I know you mentioned about the shoes, but you know, there's always been something that I want to ask a question to you. You know, I look in your closet, and I see all of these clothes. I mean, I see clothes in this closet. I see it in that closet. I see it in the closet around the back and our closet. All of these clothes. And then you say, "I don't have any clothes." Now, I got one rack of suits. Okay, I got it. And you never hear me saying, "I don't have any clothes." And I only have a few suits. But I got clothes. I can change them up. I can, you know, put on the pants, put on the jacket and change it up. But you never hear me say I don't have any clothes. And I often wondered about women, and I hear them always say, "I got to go shopping." We got a young lady in our church that, we call her Miss Cutie, and she's always saying, "I'm going shopping." You know, she loves to go shopping. And so help me to understand what's this whole deal about going shopping. As a matter of fact, I can't stand shopping. As a matter of fact, I run into the store, see something, grab it, pay for it, and I'm out of there. And if I can get 2 pair to last me a while, if I got the money, I'm going to get 2 pair so I don't have to come back for a long time. I can't stand shopping, okay? But it just seems like I remember my wife, though, one day she just wanted to go to the mall and walk around the mall. And I said, "Well, I'll go and walk around the mall." And then, of course, she saw some things she liked, and I bought them for her, okay? And it was a wonderful day together as we were walking in the mall and enjoying one another. Now, that's different, and we had a little budget there that we could spend some money, and so that was a good time. But I often wonder why they love to go shopping. Can you help me there?
I can answer some of those questions. Now, you brought up personal about me having clothes in all the closets.
Absolutely.
Well, it's because they're seasonal.
Oh.
I have summer clothes. I have winter clothes. I have church clothes. I have play clothes. I have work clothes. I have clothes to lounge around the house. I have after 5 clothes. So we're seasonal when it comes, and we're trendy. So we're going to have all kinds. Men buy suits and you'll wear that same old black suit until it's shining.
Absolutely.
You'll wear it to the banquet. You'll wear it to a breakfast. You'll wear it to church. Well, women aren't like that. Women want something new on, and when new fashions come out, they want to be. It's not a competition with anyone else. It's just they want to be the first to wear it.
Wow.
And so it is. They don't want to spend like that, but because the stores, everything is so pushed towards new fashion, trendy. We're going for the shoes. At one point, it was the flats like here. Now we're up here. Okay, and so women want to wear them. I won't put them on because I won't be able to move in them. They're just too high. But yet I can find shoes that are comfortable. Like we went to a wedding the other day. I had no shoes to wear for that wedding. I had to get shoes to match the dress.
Right.
So that's what women do. And that's why they do what they do. When they go shopping, sometimes you're just walking. You're not really shopping. And I think the term shopping is just used loosely. It just means I want to see what's out there.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Listen, man, that's wonderful. Listen, man, this is good. This is good to help us to understand women. And so what I'm hearing is that they like to be free, and we want a happy life. So if you want a happy life, you're going to have a happy wife. And so in order to have a happy wife, you're going to have to give her the freedom. You don't want to put her in bondage. You want to say to her, honey, here's $100. Go shopping and enjoy yourself. And if she says, come on, go with me, for God's sake, go with her.
Better go. But you know what? When you see women who love shoes, you have to keep in mind, too, that women are more business now. We have so many women in the corporate world that are wearing suits.
Sure.
So every single day it's a new suit. You're wearing a new suit, you're wearing new shoes to go with it. So everything is matching. So you'll see the husband has built her a closet with nothing but shoes to go with the other closet with nothing but her suits.
Wow.
And that's the way it is. And women are so business today. Their fashion, the hair, a lot of them are wearing their girls, as they call it, which are wigs, but we call them girls. They're wearing that, the makeup. It's all geared towards fashion. And in order to fit into that world, or to fit into your business world, they're expecting a particular look from you. So the business world, you can either be just so high class where you have to be in heels and suits every day, or you can be casual, business casual, where you're in pantsuits, but you're still changing every day. Your shoes have to change, the colors, everything. It's just so different, and it's difficult. Women aren't saying it's difficult, but they may love shopping, but if they really sit down and really think about it, it's really hard on us, knowing that I've got to compete out there, knowing I've got to change in order for me to fit into that business world. It's not that they want to really do it, it's just that it's part of the way the world has set it up for us now.
Wow,
that's why we're stuck there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, this one is very difficult, but yet at the same time, it's very true. Most people will not talk about it. They won't even talk about it in their marriages or even in marriage counseling. So I just made it number 4. It is withholding sexual pleasures.
Whoa.
When the woman gets angry with the man,
okay.
When she gets angry with the man, this is the powerful weapon that she used to get back at you. So men, all I'm asking you is don't use this as a means of resolving issues either.
That's good.
But the woman will use it as a weapon, and because she knows you, she knows what pleases you, but you've made her angry, and your pleasure has become her displeasure.
Oh, that's good.
I don't know if I need to say more on it, but we women try not to do that.
Right. Well, men, I want to
means.
say to share a little bit concerning that, because I think what can happen in a relationship like that, if you feel like your wife is not being caring and loving towards you, then you begin to look in another direction. And for God's sake, keep your eyes on your wife and minister to your wife, because the enemy that wants to destroy you and your reputation can easily lure you in, because your wife's mad at you, and then here come Miss Cutie Pie grinning and skinning and tipping and dipping, and next thing you know, you got your eyes in the wrong direction, because something is not going on good at home, because there's a problem at home. And when there is a problem at home, that's a time to tighten up. That's just the sign to tell you, tighten up. That's the sign to tell you to get on your A game and tighten things up. If your wife is not happy, because as I alluded to earlier, a happy wife is a happy life. And so we have a responsibility to take care of them, provide for them, make them happy. That's what we're called to do. And we being the stronger individual, they are the weaker one. I mean, the Word of God is clear that the wife is a weaker vessel. Even though she appears so strong, and you might think that she's all that and then some over you, but she has what is called an equalizer, and that is her mouth. And a lot of times, because a lot of times when they're nagging and when they're fussing at you, that's their only recourse that they have to equal up to you, because you are the stronger one, and you don't sometimes realize that. Sometimes we men don't realize the influence and how strong that we are. And so I want to encourage you to make sure that we humble ourselves in front of our wives and let them know that they're precious, that we care for them, and they're the apple of our eye.
That's good. That's good. And adding to that, the man, a lot of times, sometimes, I won't say a lot of times, sometimes the sexual pleasure is very physical, where with a woman it's very sensual, it's very intimate. And he may not necessarily be wanting for the right reason, even though that is his wife. If she's angry with you, that is not the time to resolve an issue. That's the time to love her through it, and she will easily give herself to you. She wouldn't have a problem knowing that the hurt, you came, you caressed her, you helped heal that wound, and she'll find that won't, and that's a weapon she won't have to use anymore. She can put it away.
Yeah, that's very good. I've been in ministry full time for probably about 35 years, but there was a time for about a year or two I sold cars back in Florida. And what I would notice is that when men would send flowers to their wife, they messed up. And so one of the things I want to encourage is to think about our wives on days that are not special days, to just think of them on maybe a Saturday morning. Hey, honey, let's go out to breakfast together. Or while you're out, pick her up a rose, not because y'all fighting, not because she mad at you, not because she upset with you, not because you made her mad. Now you're going to try to make up to her by buying her something, giving her a flower, buying her a ring. That's not the time. I talk about building your faith before storms, before trials, before tests, before you go through the difficulties of life. Strengthen your faith before. Well, I'm going to say strengthen your marriage before you run into a problem, before difficulties come. Have a strong marriage so when the storms of life come on that marriage, you can weather the storm because you built up a good relationship before the trial, before the test. So it'll easily blow over. You can just reach over and say, sweetie, I'm so sorry. And she'll just say, that's all right, babe.
That is so true. I didn't know that was how people felt. And one day you had sent some flowers to me, just because there was nothing wrong, just because. And so one of the ladies on the job says, "Ooh, you and your husband were fighting last night." I went, "No, no." And that was their thought, is that the only reason why you get flowers on the job is because there was a fight. So when I got home I told my husband, "Don't you ever send me any flowers to my job ever again." I did, because I don't want that thought. That's a terrible way to think. You should be able to get flowers just because. But so what he did was he got me one silk flower, and I keep it at my desk. And I've had it for years.
Yes.
So that flower is a remembrance of the fact that he loves me, and you don't have to send me flowers that's going to die in a week anyway. So I'm okay with that one flower. Okay.
That's awesome.
And it means a lot to me. So here we are, moving again to the next one.
What number are we on?
We are on number 5.
Okay, great.
Being jealous and insecure. Ladies, what happened? What made us jealous? What did he do to put you in that position? Or what was your history prior to that made you jealous, that when you got into this relationship, you didn't let go of that baggage? So you're always thinking that your husband is cheating on you. You're always thinking that something is wrong. You're calling him all day long. "Where are you, honey? When you coming home?" Hang up. 10 minutes later, "Where are you, honey? When you coming home? You said you were going to be home 10 minutes ago, and you still haven't gotten home. What are you doing? Who you talking to?" You hear people talking in the background. "Who is that you talking to?" "I hear that woman in the background." All this drama going on. But what happened that we have to take a look at ourselves, search our hearts, and find out what put us in a position to be jealous of our husbands, that will drive him out of the house and into the arms of someone that he would have never gone into if you hadn't continued to nag.
Wow, that is so great. Wow, that's a lot of food for thought there.
Yeah.
That is a lot of food for thought. I want to just encourage us men that we as men, we have to make sure that we are loving our wives at all times and that they're secure. Because why are they insecure? Because number one, keep in mind, women married, the number one reason is for for security. Men, number one reason is for companionship. But that's not why the wife, number one reason is companionship. She marries for security. So the moment she's threatened, the moment she's insecure, you got a problem.
That's right.
I mean, the moment she feels threatened, and you got to see the warning signs, and you got to deal with that. You cannot just allow her to continue to be insecure and wondering where you're at, looking at your phone and seeing who you're talking to and following you, stalking you to see what you're doing after work, to see if you're really out with the boys. You know, that's a problem.
Yeah,
that's a problem. So you have to make sure that that wife of yours, who I know you love, you want to make sure that she's secure, that she's not worried about where you're at and what you're doing, that she knows she can trust you. Because once that trust issue is broken, you got some serious problems.
That's true.
Once that trust issue, she can't trust you, then she's always going to be
is
What a live studio
awesome.
audience we have today. We're so excited to be here today on Journey to Greatness broadcast with Dr. Randall and Bradella Hall Walker,
Yes.
my awesome, extraordinary wife. It's a joy to have her on the set. Listen, she almost didn't make it today, but God made a way. So give my darling, darling baby.
I'm here.
My sweet and sexy lady. I just lose it. I mean, I'm on Christian television. We should be singing some songs like Amazing Grace, how sweet. Okay, all right. Well, okay, yes. Wonderful. Well, listen, I'm Dr. Randall Hall Walker, my wonderful, awesome, extraordinary wife, Bradella Hall Walker. I got some great news for you. We are going to celebrate next week. We're going to celebrate 32 years of marriage.
Wow. Holy God.
All right. Well, we're so excited about what God has done in our life. And so we're going to share with you some powerful truths to help you have workability so your life can show up the way it's supposed to, because so often individuals never move into their greatness. They never become extraordinary. They never fulfill their God-given purpose and their God-given assignment. And I'm so excited that we are in our zone. I mean, we are moving into our greatness. Great things are happening. We just got back from Florida for a book signing. We're headed to Chicago for another book signing. And it's great to have a life of workability. And
That's
I'm
right.
so excited.
That's good.
And listen, I want to share
good.
with you. I want to share with my viewers today. But before I do that, I want to give a shout out to my good friends out there in California. Hey, y'all, greet California. We're going to be heading out that way. Probably next year. It's going to take us a little while because you guys are so far out there. We got to go to Chicago first. You guys are way out there. But we want to give a shout out to you. Also, we want to give a shout out to Chicago, Chi-Town. Hey! Oh, man, that's one of my favorite cities. I tell you what, when I first got there, I was a little intimidated by that. I thought Al Capone was around the corner. I'm telling you. But I tell you what, I grew to love Chicago. As a matter of fact, that's where I met this. Oh, no, I'm not going to do it. Bradella Hall Walker. I met my awesome wife in Chicago. And I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Detroit, Michigan, where I was born and raised there in Detroit, Michigan.
Hello.
Motown. Oh, my goodness. Motown, just an extraordinary city. I grew up in that city. That was an awesome time growing up. What a powerful time. I want to give a shout out to my two sons there. I got a son there named Randall. I got a son, named after me. It's another Randall, y'all. Okay. And Donnie, my other son, and then Ebony, she's there as well. So wonderful. And I tell you, I got to say, hi, Mommy. I got to say hello to my wonderful mom, Annie Walker, who's an awesome, extraordinary lady. And so we're just so excited. And we have family in Florida.
Yes.
We have some wonderful grandkids, and I'm going to let my darling, I'm going to let my wife, Bradella Hall Walker, introduce them. But I want to say hello to my grandkids. Mwah, I love you.
Yes.
Give them a big hand.
Yeah. Hello, Florida. Our son David, his wife Nikiba, and our three beautiful grandchildren, Brianna, Alyssa, and Nia. Hello. God bless you all.
That's great. Well, listen, what I want to talk to you about today, because as I alluded to earlier, the graveyard is full of folk who never fulfilled their God-given purpose, their assignment. They lost the vision. They got hoodwinked, bamboozled, and tricked, and they ended up in defeat. But I'm going to share with you some great tools today to help your life have workability. A pastor called me today, very successful pastor, just totally in defeat. And I'm just amazed at how so many people can get discouraged and get down. Even men of God, full of faith and power, get discouraged. I had one, he was on Facebook. I couldn't believe it. He was crying like a baby in defeat. And I inboxed him, and I said, bro, you know better. God has given us tools and given us authority as men of God.
Right, yes.
How dare
That's
we
true.
allow the enemy to ever get us down?
Right.
God is called. We're visionaries.
That's right.
And you know, being a visionary is very important. And you who are watching by way of television, I want to empower your life today to become a visionary. Because being a visionary is so powerful. A visionary is one who knows what it should be, what it could be, and what it will be, regardless the way it is.
That's right.
They are one who is
That's right.
determined to change things. They're not one who watch things happen and wonder what happened. They are people who make things happen. They are shakers and movers. And I want to encourage everyone to be a shaker and a mover. Do not let the enemy discourage you. Do not let the enemy talk you out of your vision, your dream. Become a visionary. See what it's supposed to look like. See what is supposed to happen, and be determined to fuel your vision. And don't let anybody and nobody, and especially not the devil, talk you out of it.
That's right.
Because being a visionary is so important.
That's right.
You will never succeed if you don't fuel your vision. You have to fuel that vision. You have to be determined. You got to be like that energized bunny. You got to keep going, 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 going.
right.
You might take a licking, but you're going to keep on ticking. You might get knocked down, but you're going to get yourself back up, and you're going to get back in the race, and you're going forward for what is possible. So I'm excited to come to you today and encourage you as I share with you about how important it is to have a vision and a mental picture of the future. That's what a vision is. It's a mental picture of the future. You see it. You've already seen what your future looks like. You know, the Word of God is clear that you can frame your world within a world, but you got to get a vision for what's possible. You got to see the end, and then you got to start at the beginning. But you got to see it clearly.
Right.
And then you got to write it down and make it plain.
That's
Publish
right.
it.
That's
and
right.
you got to brag about what you're
That's
what
right.
you're going to accomplish. You got to boast about what you're going to accomplish
That's right.
for God. I'm doing this for God, and no demon, no devil gonna stop me.
That's
I'm
good.
gonna succeed
That's
no
good.
matter what.
That's good.
And I'm not stopping.
good.
I'm gonna succeed, and I'm gonna fulfill my God-given purpose, and I'm gonna make sure that I leave my legacy on the earth. I am not gonna die in defeat. I'm not gonna die never having fulfilled my God-given purpose, and not my dreams and my aspirations, not me. And I want to encourage you who are watching by way of television. I want you tonight, I want you to get a hold wherever you're at watching this program. I want you to get right now with you and God. And I want you to get a vision for what's possible and know what the difference that you're out to make and what you're out to accomplish. And find out your assignment. Find out your purpose. Because listen, so many people never understand their purpose. They don't even know why they're here on earth. They just exist. And if you don't know your purpose in life, somebody will give you theirs. And you'll go through life doing somebody else's purpose, somebody else's dream, and you'll be most miserable.
That's right.
And you'll be so unhappy.
That's
and
right.
that's why we tend, when we're unhappy, you know how we eat all the time, we're unhappy. Next thing you know, you done got huge and you can't even move. You done got so big because you're unhappy.
That's
You know, when we're unhappy, you know how it is, and late at night, you eat, because we're miserable.
Yeah.
That's why you got to have a goal. That's why you got to have a purpose. That's why you got to live life on purpose, live life intentional, and know what you're up to accomplish, and see what it looks like, and be determined to reach your goal for the glory of God. Bradella?
That's great. That is wonderful. And so I was thinking about what you were saying. Visionaries are futuristic, which means that they know their present state. They don't think about their present state. They think of their future. They
Right.
think of where they're going. And that's a wonderful place to be, because visionaries live in a place of expectation.
Wow, that's
They're
good.
constantly seeing what can be, what they do, why they do it, and what's going to make them happy doing it. And that's what visionaries are.
That's right.
And I enjoy the fact that I'm a visionary, because
Yes,
I'm
you are.
always, you can take me into an open field and I'll see homes, I'll see
Yes.
parks, I'll see a mall, and other people will go out to the open field and they'll just see an open field.
Yes.
So you have to be a visionary to the point of seeing what's in the future and not in your present right now.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. And here's the thing about a visionary that I love. They have a mental picture of what it looks like, and they have an imagination, and they begin to see through their imagination, and they get in the game and start playing. They don't just sit on the sideline. They're not sitting on the sideline cheering somebody else. Go, go, go. They're not cheerleaders, you know. They're on the game. They're on the court. They're in the game of life. Visionaries are in the game of life, and they make life work for them. And they soak in life. They soak in the joy of life. Life for them is pleasant. They're not a doubter and a pouter and a do-it-outer. They're not always walking around complaining, talking about poor me. How's it going? Horrible. How's life treating you? Miserable. No. They have a vivid imagination, and they live in this world of imagination. This awesome, extraordinary, wonderful lady here is a visionary if I ever seen one. And she's a writer, an actor, a producer. She's multi-talented, but she lives in the game. She don't sit on the sideline and watch the game. You know, I'm not big on football, basketball, and sports. Because if I'm not playing, I don't want to be a part of it. If I'm not out there playing. Listen, and when I was a young kid, if I fell out with you, I'm taking my ball and going home.
Oh, wow.
I ain't going to play with you. Give me my ball. That's right. Yeah. So if I'm not playing the game, I'm done. I'm not one to sit on the sidelines and cheer others. That's just not who I am. I'm just not that way. I believe that we should be in the game, playing the game, and playing to win.
That's good.
I believe it.
That's good.
Yeah, because winners never quit and quitters never win. Okay? If you quit, you're done.
Right.
But if you're determined to succeed and you're determined to fulfill your God-given purpose and your dreams and your aspirations, you don't quit. When you get knocked down, you say, it ain't no big deal. And I'm getting back up. I've learned what doesn't work. I thought it would work. I was hoping it would work. Looked like it would work. But it didn't work. But I'm going to find out what works. And that's a visionary. That's one who is determined to their dreams to come to fruition. So the Word of God says that without a vision, people perish. Which implies, that here, get this, this is simple. Without revelation, it's in revelation that things are revealed to you. It's in the realm of the unseen revelation that life fuels you of what you cannot see. You know, what you can see is going to discourage you half the time anyway. What you see in the natural, it's the things that you cannot see. And a visionary is one that doesn't focus on what the natural. They're not people that walk around seeing people in defeat and get, oh, boy, that's so sad. That's so sad. You know, they're ones that, hey, listen, we're going to build a center for them, get these homeless people, and we're going to get them in a place where their lives can have workability. That's what we're going to do. That's who they are, and that's the difference that visionary, they're creative. They're very creative, and because they understand the creative power of God. Listen, God took nothing and created everything.
Yes, he did.
Nothing is not a bad place to be. You know,
That's right.
So many people hit rock bottom, they lose it. And listen, I believe there's a gentleman right now. You're sitting on the couch, you've lost everything. I'm here to tell you today, that's a good place where you're at now. Even though you're feeling like giving up on life, nothing's a good place to be, because it's in nothing that you can create everything. The world was void. It was nothing. And in nothing, God created everything. So it's not a bad place to be. It's just where you start. That's not where you're going to end. So quit pouting. Get up off that couch and move forward and soar high, because God has something great for you, I believe it. Bradella?
That's wonderful. Thinking about that man or a woman or anyone that's in a place where they feel like they've lost everything, you have to get to a place where were you before you got to where you are? If you can imagine, I was doing something before this, and now I'm feeling defeated, get back to that place. Begin to use your imagination and allow yourself to be creative. And visionaries are very proactive.
Yes.
In that they are always thinking of doing something. They're always using their imagination. They're always thinking of where they're going to go next. And I think of visionaries as artists. Artists who use a canvas, and the canvas is blank, and then they begin to draw on it and use their paints and their oils. It doesn't look right, they'll wipe it off and they'll start all over again. That's a proactive person, a person who says, I'm going to get it right. I know where I'm going, I know what I want to do, and my imagination is going to be so great, but I'm going to channel it in that direction and that direction only. Those are proactive visionaries.
Yes.
They keep life going.
They keep life going.
Yes.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And listen, they're not hindered by limitations and restraints and boundaries. They don't let things stop them. They don't judge their life by what's in front of them that's stopping them. Visionaries see beyond that. They see beyond the problem, beyond the circumstance. You know, so often individuals hit snare in their life, and life's over. They just done. They start throwing in the towel, giving up, crying. I can't make it. I'm done. La! You know, and just losing. They just totally lose it. But not a visionary.
That's
a visionary sees that the obstacles in front of them, the limitations and the restraints and the boundaries, they see beyond that.
That's right.
They see beyond. You know, I think one of the greatest visionaries was the Lord Jesus Christ. And let me tell you why. Because the scripture says, for the joy that was set before him, he endured the cross. So here's a man that's going through the agony and the pain on his way to be crucified. After they done beat him and ripped his flesh all off of his bones, he could say, forgive them, for they know not what they do, because he could see beyond that.
Yes.
And he saw himself seated with his heavenly Father in heaven. He saw himself resting, completing his work, fulfilling his assignment, and could look at the devil and say, nah, 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 nah.
That's right.
So it's the joy that was set before him, he endured. So we should have the joy set before us that we can endure. The vision is in front of us. And whatever we face, it's the vision that fuels us. So when there's obstacles, difficulties, and trials, and tests, and problems, and sorrow, and adversity, and difficulties, we see beyond that.
Right.
We see beyond what's possible in there, and we know it's there to push us into our greatness. Reminds me of the children of Israel as they were leaving, going to the promised land, and they had kind of gotten a little complacent there in the wilderness, and Pharaoh's army had to come and drive them to move forward. Yeah, had to push them into their greatness. And that's what God will do when there's opposition. He's pushing you to your greatness. He was trying to get them to the promised land. He said, Pharaoh, run them up to the promised land. They're flowing milk and honey. Run them there. And they see, they're panicking and everything. But he was pushing them. And that's what God will do for you. So when you're facing some difficulties, when you're facing some tests, some trials, don't see it. Perspective is everything. Perspective, how you view things, how you interpret it. You got to interpret things in the best interest of seeing what God is up to and the difference he's trying to do in your life. And when you see that, it'll cause you to rise up as an overcomer, and you'll be strong and mighty and courageous. And then you can tell others, hey, you know what? You're going to succeed. I was able to do it. It's a storm in your life. Yes, you're going to hit storms. We're either in a storm, just left a storm, or on our way to a storm. You're going to hit a storm in life. No question about it. No ifs, ands, or buts. You will have storms. But the great thing about it is God will be with you in that storm, and you can weather that storm, and you can prepare yourself to go through the storm. Why? Because you built your faith up and your vision before the storm. You know where you're at. You positioned yourself. You got yourself ready. Hey, I know that I'm going to face opposition. We're prepared for it. You're prepared for the storm. You know, you got to get prepared for a storm.
That's right.
Yeah. You know, and I know that firsthand being in Florida. Well, when the hurricanes was coming, I tell you what, it was so funny, guys. I got to tell you all that. It's so funny. I mean, Walmart, everything is sold out. I mean, the bread and everything, milk, everything. I mean, as soon as they announce a hurricane, you try to go to the store. You can't find no bread, no milk, no nothing. And the lumber stores, or like Lowe's and Home Depot, they run out of lumber.
That's right.
Because everybody want to board up their house. They want to buy it. They prepare themselves for the storm. That's a good thing.
You know, and then the storm cease and go someplace else, and they spend all that money for nothing. But anyway, they didn't take a chance, and I don't blame them. I don't. As a matter of fact, I didn't take a chance. Whenever a hurricane was on its way to Florida, I took off. I was in Atlanta. I tell you, I love Atlanta. I tell you what, I'll be in Atlanta. I didn't take no chances. But you have to prepare yourself for the storm. Listen, you that watching by way of television, prepare yourself for your storm, because you will have trials, you will have tests. But it's how you view them and your interpretation of that storm and that situation is key. That's the most important thing to know. Strengthen yourself before you face it, build your confidence up, and when you're going through that storm, just say, this too shall pass.
That's right. You know? That's wonderful. That's what we really have only 2 minutes left, but I want to say as we're getting ready to close that one of the greatest restraints that we have is doubt. Doubting ourselves, believing we can't do it. We started out with this beautiful thought, the beautiful vision, the beautiful imagination, and then somehow a seed of doubt came in and just blocked you. So that's your greatest restraint, is you.
Wow.
It's not always someone else, because anybody can tell you that you can't do it. It isn't a matter what they told you, it's whether you believe what they said. So you have to believe in you have to believe in where you're going, you have to believe in what is